It's Tim Albright with an AVNetwork Tech Talk. With me today is Mr. Scott Norman from SnapOne. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
So you guys have recently gone through, you used to be called SnapAV, gone to SnapOne. Before we get any further on this, explain to somebody who is not, first of all, not familiar with whether or not, SnapAV is now SnapOne, or had heard that but wasn't quite sure the story there. Explain to somebody that name change.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously we were SnapAV, have been SnapAV for about 15, 16 years or so. We were started out by integrators in the space who kind of wanted to change the industry and bring on their own product lines so that they could control the kind of the distribution channel, the end customer experience, the integrator experience from end to end. And we grew gangbusters, have been growing gangbusters for a while. I came in about 10 years ago and started kind of a more commercially focused component of our business. And over that time period, we have become a lot of different things over the time. So we bought Sunbright a number of years ago, Sunbright Displays. We've acquired a number of local distribution channels, Volutone, AllNet, Custom Plus, MRI, and a couple others. We're taking our e-commerce platform, which was our primary go-to-market strategy before, building the best website in the industry, dealer direct products and services, and then now taking those locally. So we've acquired a number of local distributors. We acquired Control4 a couple of years ago to solidify a control system for our business. And so we have grown into an entirely new organization, and we now serve multiple channels of AV, IT, security, professionals across the board, even electricians. And so we felt like, this was a great time to culminate a new name that represents who we are, so much more than just an AV company. And so we love the name Snap because it really encapsulates so much of who we are. We actually started that term when we first came out with the first company name because we wanted to be so easy. We wanted to just be snappy to do business with us and fun and easy and painless experience. And so we love that component of it. But again, all the different markets and channels that we serve now, all the different product lines that we have, all the different local brick and mortar stores that we have, we wanted to pull it together as one company. And so SnapOne was a natural fit. And then we just went public with the NASDAQ a couple of days ago, and are now a publicly traded company.
Yeah, absolutely. A very, very exciting day for you guys. That's one of the things that folks don't sometimes, if you're newer to the industry, you're a newer dealer, you're newer, in this space, that DNA, that foundation as an integration, as an integrator, right? That's the folks who founded SnapOne. They have integration in your DNA, is absolutely fascinating. And actually, it's critical to kind of your growth and some of the decisions that you guys have made. When you talk with customers, you talk with potential dealers, you talk with folks that you're trying to kind of get on board and become part of the SnapOne family. What do you want them to see first? Do you want them to see the manufacturer, or do you want them to see the distributor, SnapOne? Which one do you want them to see?
That's a great question. Our business model is fairly unique in the sense that we call ourselves a manufacturer first and a distributor kind of for convenience. But okay. It's the entire ecosystem that really adds the value of who we are as a company. We have what we call a product platform, which is all of our products, and that is the foundation of that is bringing our own products to market, our own product brands to market. Those are brands like Wattbox and Arachnus Networking and Luma Surveillance and Episode Audio and Binary and Wirepath. And we've got about 13 brand names internally that are our own internal brand names, and that's kind of the core of our business, and that's what we call ourselves, a manufacturer first. Those are the product brands that are going to be the differentiators that you get to experience as an integrator with us. Our Oversee Cloud Management Platform is one of the biggest components of that. That is a free cloud management platform that pulls all the products together. It gives you full site visibility of everything at a job site, gives you notifications, all those great things. Our Wattbox Power product line is a great PDU line that gives you IP controllable power for your job site. And then, but it's not to overshadow what we do on what would traditionally be encapsulated in a distributor, and that's how we get the products to you. Just-in-time delivery, free 2-day shipping. When you have a problem with a product, it's a money back guarantee on everything we sell. Our tech support is just incredible. I mean, our net promoter score in tech support, I believe they said was 93, which I mean, just
Good,
raving
nice.
fans. Yeah, it's just off the charts. And so it's
So really,
everything.
really quickly, for someone who's not familiar with Net Promoter Score, I'm going to do something really cool. I'll explain it really quickly, but I want you to go further here. It is a really simple survey that you send to your customers and say, how, a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to recommend us to a cohort, right?
Yeah.
And average is in the 60s and 70s. You've got folks in the 90s, which means the vast majority of your customers say a 9 or a 10 they would recommend you. How did you do that?
It's really starts with our core value as a company. Make the dealer partners' lives easier. I mean, we have this like plastered on the walls in our building of whatever we have to do to make your life easier and your business more profitable. That's what we want to do. Because at the end of the day, like, again, we come from the integrator side, and we know that it's so easy to get tripped up as an integrator. I mean, the integrator's job, I think, is the hardest job on earth. It's harder than a surgeon's job, and it pays a pennies on the dollar. But if there's a single wire that's not connected properly, or broken, or a component is bad, or giving you a weird diagnosis, I mean, there's so many ways to get tripped up as an integrator, and we recognize that. And so we have a tech support team that's U.S. based. They're all former integrators. And we don't just cover our products. I mean, I hear about them diagnosing vacuum systems and microwaves and other stuff along the way. Whatever it takes to make you successful is basically what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. When we talk about the number of products and lines that you guys have got, and you added another one here in the last few months, access networks, how does that variety help your dealers? How does it help the folks that you serve, and also how does it help their customers as well?
Yeah, our product lines are interesting. Again, we've got all of our in-house brand names, and we really started with the fundamental product lines. That's kind of all the in-between gear. I mean, in the very early days of SnapAV, it was TV mounts and wire, and we did projection screens from some unknown reason. But it's really matured over the last 15 years to where now we've got some really advanced AV over IP distribution systems that are cloud managed. It's like a 5-minute setup. It automatically self-identifies itself on the network and puts itself in the cloud automatically. Our Wattbox IP power product line is our number one biggest product line, because at the end of the day, it makes problems go away on the job site. It allows you to reboot things remotely. It can ping devices automatically, monitor the WAN connection, and auto reboot the modems and routers so that you can keep your system up and running. And it keeps ultimately the cloud's no good if you can't get to it. So Wattbox makes that always a seamless process. Our overseas cloud management platform again allows you to give full site visibility, and it's free. And then there's a pro level that's a very minimal cost that does so much more. Our networking line is really all about making the integrators' lives easier and simplified networking, innovative features throughout all the product lines that are really focused on the integrator. We start with integrator feedback first in developing all of our product lines. And so you'll see small things in the products that make a big difference. You'll see, obviously the switches are rear ports for the AV integrator where you need them, but then we have front port switches if you're an IT integrator. Some of our rack designs are made so that the wires easily come out the back and you don't have to leave the back door off the rack because there's no good way to get the wires through after you've wired the entire rack up and you realize you didn't wire them through the hole in the door. So there's just all the little small things that we do that make a big difference for the integrator. And then again, when you have that capability to go online and purchase it, build system designs. We've got internal system design teams that help you to design systems. We believe that you should have a direct sales rep that you can always get in contact with. You can go pick it up locally. Our stock status is always really healthy. That's been a big thing during the pandemic is
absolutely.
No stock or low stock. And we find that we're hearing a lot of integrators coming to us and telling us that you have way more stock than anybody else out there. So that's kudos to our logistics teams who have done a fantastic job on that. And we've got 3 large warehouses across the country, and then we've got 27 local what we call partner stores. that you can pick stuff up at, and we're scaling that quickly. We're going to have, I believe, over 40 stores by the end of next year, and so we're quickly ramping up our local presence as well. So just a ton of great ways to get the products and to know that we're going to have your back at the end of the day.
Yeah, and have that is the logistics team, the procurement team is there during this time is a little bit of magic as well, right? Because it has been a struggle for some manufacturers and for some integrators.
Yeah.
We talked about the fact that you've got a foundation of integrators. You guys service the IT sector. You service electricians, but also in the AV space, you get the residential side and you got the commercial side. And I want to talk about the commercial side for a second. And some of the product lines are I want you to talk about for a second is how those products, or which of those products maybe is the best way to ask this, really serves that commercial segment, the commercial segment that are going into conference rooms, that are going into doctor's office, that are going into higher education. Which of those lines really kind of focuses on that area?
Yeah, it's a great question. So much of what we have here is used across so many verticals. I was talking to someone earlier about, like, when you talk about the different market verticals, a lot of people want to put things into certain blocks, commercial or security or IT datacom or residential. But this is like a Venn diagram that overlaps with concentric circles with super blurry lines. And so, so much of what we offer is the fundamentals of what you need every day: the power, the TV mounts, the storage solutions, and racks and mounts, and all those things. But then we have a couple of key product lines that are more targeted for commercial. So an example of that is our Sense microphone line. Sense microphones is a line that we developed not really to compete with the bigs in the microphone industry, who are in large part going after the big staging applications and premium products, and those are all fantastic products. But if I just need a simple microphone to do a conference room or a training room, and I want to plug into the value proposition of Snap, which is great products at sometimes 50% lower price than the big names out there, but then we maintain the MSRP. So what our core value proposition from the beginning has always been was get you the same quality products for a lower price than what you're paying from your traditional vendor, but keep that same MSRP of what you used to have. And and then you take that extra margin, which is usually like 30 points, and you put that in your pocket as an integrator. And our whole goal was to make integrators profitable when buying and selling products again, because so many things have become commoditized. You could shop things on Amazon, and they were losing margin in the products. And so there's a couple of brand names that do that for us. Sense Microphones is a great example of that. We've got some webcams in our nearest webcam line. We're going to be doing a major update for that line coming soon here. And then on the business music side is another key area for us, and then obviously the control side. Right now, we're really anchoring to some partnerships in the industry. On the control side, we partner with Atlona for their velocity control system, and we support their line also for a lot of their conference room distribution products. Some good products there. And then on the business music side, we have a partnership with Yamaha for their DSPs and amplifiers and some of their ceiling speakers. But for our internal brands, our Episode 70-volt speakers and amplifiers are a fantastic line. They're cloud-managed amps. We've got some great in-ceiling speakers, so some of those high-running SKUs that you use for in-ceiling. We've got magnetic grills on our speakers that are the same price as the non-magnetic grill versions that are out on the market. Our box is a unique cutout mechanism style box that allows you to cut the ceiling tile out without making a gigantic mess on the job site. So just some of those simple application type things. And then there's the laundry list is long. You can go to our website. Our projection screens, we've got 16 by 10 ratio projection screens. Some of our wiring and cable, our HDMI cables, our long length HDMIs are some of the best out there. And then again, racks and mounts and in-wall storage solutions, vertical racks. The list is long. I mean, we carry over 5,000 SKUs now, so can't go through it all, but definitely check out our website and poke around in the product section and go to the categories that you're interested in, and that's where the good stuff is.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of those things go back to that integration foundation. It really does. You mentioned the cutout mechanism for ceiling speakers. You're right. It's this goes back to when I was an integrator or when I was a tech manager, right? We would take the ceiling tiles I'm not making this up. We would put the ceiling tile over a trash can and take the stencil and then take basically a drywall saw and cut it out over there, and it made a mess even though we were cutting it over a trash can. So yeah, stuff like that is absolutely huge.
It's our box has like a template built in. It already has like a punch out in the box itself, so you don't have to go
Yeah.
rob the customer's trash can and make a mess of it. It makes it all easier. It's just one of those kind of next level things that we do.
And it's something that you don't think about it until you're on the job site, right? And then you're like, holy crap, why didn't somebody think of this? And then somebody did, right? That is very cool.
Yeah.
You mentioned a lot of kind of cloud-based stuff. The amplifiers cloud managed. A lot of folks have gotten into remote management. You guys certainly have gone deep in this. Talk for a second as we wrap up here. Kind of the biggest benefits for your customers, for the dealers, for the integrators, but also for the customers themselves, for the AV users. When we start talking about the benefits of remote monitoring for kind of both of those folks.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's obviously something that's been high on everybody's mind for a very long time. We've been talking about recurring revenue in this industry forever. We've been talking about the AV-IT convergence forever, and a lot of times our dealers just aren't feeling it. They're like, okay, I hear people doing this, but it seems really challenging. Unless I go big with one of the manufacturers out there, it feels like it's a high expense item and it's hard to get into. And so our goal was just to make it easy. And free. So the real process starts when you buy one of our connected products, and our connected products is basically anything with an internet connection on it, Ethernet connection. So it's our AVNetwork networking equipment, our Wattbox power product line, our Luma surveillance line, our episode power amplifiers are network connected, and now Control 4 and Pack Edge and some others that we've integrated into the system. And then once you get those devices in the mail, you plug them in, you get them connected to the WAN connection, and then you go to oversee.com. You set up an account. You just need an email address. You don't need any sort of special SnapAV account or anything like that. And then you just type in the MAC address of that box, and it finds it on your network. It adds it to your customer. You start setting up customers and locations, and you say, oh, yeah, here's all of my customers. Here's the locations within those customers. And then I get a full device list of all the devices that I have from Snap that fit into that ecosystem. And that's kind of the base level of Oversee, where you're buying a product and you're adding it to Oversee, and then the cloud is free. And from there, you can reboot devices with our power product line. So turn outlets on and off. You can set up auto pings to ping equipment and ping your DSP or ping your control system. And if it ever locks up, you can tell it to automatically cycle the power on it. You can ping a WAN connection like Amazon and Google and simultaneously say, hey, if all those websites are down, then reboot the modem, wait 30 seconds, reboot the router, bring it back up, and you can restore that internet connection. And so there's all kinds of great functionality just at the base free level of Oversee, notifications and firmware updates and all that cool stuff. But then if you buy one of our routers, our AVNetwork networking routers, or one of our hubs, which is just a little widget that you throw in the LAN, then you get what we call Oversee Pro. And what Oversee Pro does is it scans the entire network for all the equipment that's on that particular LAN, that's on your customer's job site, and then you get to see all that equipment. And so if some other device falls offline, you can get a notification for it. You can also go into that device remotely from our cloud and get to the local UI of that device. So maybe it's a printer or a DSP or a control system, and you can go in and you can make configuration changes remotely to that, what we call third-party device, straight through our cloud management platform as well. And so as an integrator, now you can sit back at your office, you can get full visibility across all of your sites and get notification when equipment falls offline or something goes wrong. You can go in and tunnel in and make a setting change if you need to. And then you can really determine, like, okay, we really do have to send a technician now. It's not just an exploratory technician call. It's a real service call that you know what you generally need to get done. You know what tools you need to take, you know all that stuff. And so you can proactively call your customer and say, hey, look, I noticed that your modem has reset itself 3 times in the last hour. Are you guys doing okay? Like, how can I help as the proactive manager of your site? You paid me to build a system that's going to be reliable and rock solid, and anytime there's a problem, you're there for me. Now I'm not calling you as the end customer. You're calling me saying, hey, I want to make sure everything's good on your side. And so that just totally changes the relationship that you have with your end customers and the service levels that they receive. And then our hope is that over time, they'll start to see that. and you can charge for that, and you can manage how you want to manage that component of your business. But now it gives you the ability, Mr. Integrator, to manage customers proactively and do what you need to do for your business to reconcile that with your customers.
Well, I also want to hit on something here, and not that any integrator worth their salt doesn't know how much a truck roll costs, right? If you're a business owner, you know how much a truck roll costs. What you said there, though, was that there's a difference here between an exploratory call and an honest-to-God tech assessment call, right? The exploratory call is just, hey, your customer called because something's wrong, quote unquote. They don't know, right? Their system's not working in some way, shape, or form. That is being reactive, right? Your customer calls, there's something wrong with their system. That's kind of an exploratory call where they're calling you and you're going out. That costs you money, right? As opposed to you finding out because you get the report and this, that, and the other, what you just described, and then depending on your relationship with the client, depending on your SLA, that role could actually be revenue generation, right? Worst case scenario, you're at least cutting down one truck roll, which automatically is going to save you money.
Yep, you're saving money on your side as the integrator. You're providing a better service to your end customer. You're providing higher level of satisfaction to them. They feel like you're truly engaged with them at the level that they honestly expected from the get-go. And oftentimes as AV integrators, we kind of fail our customers if we're not doing this, but just because of their expectations, right? And then, again, then you have the opportunity to change the conversation to say, hey, like that service I'm providing you, it has value, and it does just as well as I do. And that there's a business case there.
Absolutely. Well, Scott, thank you so much for the time here. Scott Norman from Snap One. Somebody wants to connect with you or Snap One, how do they do that?
Email me. Hey, I'm here. I'm super open door policy, scott.normand with a D on the end at snap1.com. Also, reach out to our sales team. We have just a generic mailbox that I'm on and our entire team is on. Commercial sales at snap1.com. Commercial sales, all one word, at snap1.com. That's a great way to get in with us. And then you can go to snap1.com/commercial, and you can kind of get the full commercial view of key product lines. And if you're not a current dealer with us, integrator, you can sign up to be a dealer. We actually have some great entry-level offers, about 50% off your first order and all kinds of fun stuff to get you started. But at the end of the day, we believe we got to get product in your hand. We got to tell you truly about who we are as a company, how we differentiate ourselves in the market, and that's all part of that onboarding process. We have an entire team built around that, people that do demos of oversee for you right out of the gate, all of our product line demos. We have an individual person that does that, and we'll do an individual call with you as much as you need to get that started. And then we've got system design team behind our sales team as well. So if you need help transitioning from a certain product line over to your product line, to our product line, they can do that. They can build system designs. Anyway, you can see it's a long story, but it was great being here, Tim. Awesome fun time.
I appreciate it so much. Again, Scott Norman from Snap One. You can connect with him with his email. For us, for AV Network, you can go by our website, avnetwork.com, avnetwork.com. Find episodes like this and more. Also, all the latest news and information from the AV industry. All that and more at avnetwork.com, avnetwork.com. Thanks so much.